What's good, fam? 2 pennies, 2 cents. Thank you again for tuning in and joining my podcast and my channel and my station again. Of course, I'm your host, Nino. Again, click that like button. Let's try to let these subscriptions multiply. Help a brother out. Help a fella out. I appreciate your generosity. I appreciate your attentiveness. I appreciate you giving me a few moments to come into your world, your spectrum. And I appreciate you people really consider my opinions and like to know them. I'm going to talk about something that is basic around common every day. I'm going to talk about how, listen to me, how to ace a job interview when you're looking for employment. Let me repeat that again. How to ace a job interview when you're looking for employment. When you're looking for employment. I'm sorry. How to ace a job interview when you're looking for employment. Number one, first of all, be on time when you're at the interview. See, this is what I'm trying to say, this for example. If you're supposed to be at the interview at 3 o'clock, be there at 2:30. Because at 3 o'clock, you're already late. And I know people going to say, well, aren't I given a window? No. This is how it works in corporate, the work world. And I have heard this is how it works when you be a movie star or celebrity, when you have to stand on business. If you're given a slotted time to be somewhere, like say, if you got a 2:30 or 2:45 appointment, if you got a 2:45 or 2:30 appointment, you be there at 2 o'clock. If you got a 2:45 appointment, you be there at 2:15. Always be early. You never can go wrong. Be super early. See, where you have failed, that is, you can always be, early bird can always get the worm, but if you get there and the worm is already gone, which means you moving too slow, then you didn't fail. Get there on time, plenty time. Show that. Show that you're going to be impromptu. Show that you're serious. I guarantee you, if your appointment says a certain time or slot and you're 30 minutes there before your appointment, you're already stepping in the right direction. 2, listen carefully to the interview. Listen carefully to the interviewer. Grasp, be attentive. It wouldn't even hurt if you do some research on the job that you're applying for. I had to learn it the hard way. Just don't go in now and be like everything comes to you as the interviewer is talking to you. Already be knowledgeable. Matter of fact, if the interviewer is saying something to you and you can finish the sentence, that's kudos too, because they know you have to do your research. See, even though you're the one being interviewed, you have to do your research too. It's not like you just walk in there and okay, you answering every question as it come to you. The interviewer who's interviewing you wants to know that you didn't handle your business. You didn't did your studying. You come there prepared. You ready on a certain basis. You know if this and that has to connect with that, or if this goes with that. You know, certain things like that. You have to be very astute when you get interviewed. Do your research. If the interviewer can ask you a question and you can finish that sentence, I guarantee you that will be great points too. That will be an asset to you. That will make you look good. Because it goes a lot of things that when these interviewers interviewing you, remember, you're not the only one they interviewing. A person, when you go take an interview at a job, you might be the third or fourth person they're interviewing that day. And y'all all could have been good interviewees. But it always comes down to that certain one they picked had something that distinguished that interviewer from the other ones. That's why he made the decision, or that's why she made the decision to pick that one interviewee. 3, never slight a teacher, friend, employee, or university. If you have bad blood against your former, either of them, don't go in there and badmouth them. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go in there complaining. Don't go in there and crying. You're going to trying to get a job. You're not going in there to trying to talk to a counselor. You're not going in there and trying to lean all your problems on somebody. This is about this job. This is about this job position that you want. If you have a little disdain or you don't like possibly your former teacher, your former employee, friend, university, you keep that to yourself. Because believe me, that will make you look bad. All that's saying is, all the interviewer is looking at you as, okay, if he or she is going to badmouth and going to complain and going to talk like this against all the former people that he or she just came in contact with or have been associated with, whereas that's your friend, your employee, your university, or a teacher, they feel if you move on, you will talk bad about them. I'm talking about the job that you're interviewing for. So don't go in there spilling the beans, discussing your problems with your former. Don't do that. That's not a good look. People don't want that. If you go do that, they might not say nothing but right. But soon you walk out, I guarantee you, your application is going in the trash can. Because that shows a sign of weakness. That shows that you will talk bad. If you talk bad about them and they try to help you, you will talk bad about the job that you're trying to get if they hire you and you move on, seeing that they tried to help you, if you know what I mean. 4, watch your grammar. Man, don't go in there talking all that slang. Don't go in there cussing. Don't go in there. I'm not saying you got to go in there and speak proper English, but try to speak the best etiquette you can. Don't try to be too perfect and be somebody you're not. But I'm just saying, cut down the slang. Hey, you're not going to do no rap song. You know, this ain't no music, nothing like that. You don't gotta go in there and prove that you know slang. You trying to get a job. And if you are hood, and I'm not saying nothing wrong with it, because people will say, well, they hood this and they hood that. Leave that hood at home. You're trying to get in the work. If this is a good job, you have to speak proper etiquette. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I don't want to hear that about keeping it real. Because how you keeping it real is going now, get this job, handle your business, make that money, take care of your family, or take care of yourself. That's keeping it real. How you gonna go in there speaking all that slang, talking broken English, like the interviewer want to hear that, like this job is gonna accept that? If you feel like you gotta do that, you might as well just cancel the interview, don't go, don't even show up. Because if you go in there with that type of mentality, I guarantee you're going to flagpole that interview to the fullest. Be prepared to answer personal questions. Yes, because they're going to ask. That's why I say you got to come prepared. Don't walk in there, don't walk in the interview thinking about something else. Because they're trying to get to know you. So they might ask you questions that's personal because they want to know your background. Of course, they're going to run your background too. So look at it like this. They done already ran your background, or they might run you, if they do run your background. So when they ask you them personal questions, the interviewer is going to write them down and keep notes of that. So when they run your background, they're going to see if you're a liar or if you come straight. If you roll with the straight and narrow, or if you deceptive, or if you try to deceive. So I would say just through these first little points that I'm saying, if you know you're going to have an interview, sit home, practice, work on etiquette, get yourself together, have a practice run. It wouldn't even hurt if you have somebody, whether your mom, your brother, your friend, and women too, ladies or whatever, you have girlfriends. You do a practice run like that. You have somebody sit down and interview you. Work on it. You know how actors rehearse? You know how when you're making a movie, you have rehearsal? When you have an interview, you need to have rehearsal. Because this is not no joke. This is a job. This could be career moving. This could secure your whole career. This could be your lifeline. So take it serious. Wait for the interviewer to mention salary and benefits. Man, don't go in there, the interviewer and ask you one question, and your second reply is, well, how much I'm going to make? You don't even know if you got the job yet. See, that's looking too thirsty. That's looking like you ain't never had nothing. They understand that you need a job. And they understand you want to make money, because who doesn't want to make money? But don't go in there. Let the interview process unfold and let it, how can I say, let it develop. Let it just go through, let it go through all the process that it needs to go through. It's a time and a place for everything. On your first interview, you don't ask that, because a lot of times you might have one interview, but if you make it, it might be a second interview. So by you going in there, after the first question, and you ask the interview how much I'm gonna make, you jump in the gun. That's moving too fast. See, people don't like anxiety. You're being too anxious. Be calm and composed. Show calmness. I know you probably going crazy inside because you're excited. I have been excited. But what you going through on the inside, you got to show a total different way, a total different how you dealing with it on the outside. They don't like anxiety. They don't like you moving too fast. You might, again, like I say, have a second interview. Sometimes you have a third interview. Just let the things unfold. Take your time. Take a deep breath. Speak nicely. Speak correct etiquette. Tell the truth. I know you're excited, but you can go in there and be too turned up or be you see yourself as, okay, I'm too anxious and blow the whole interview. Just be smooth. Just be smooth. Don't expect a job offer at the first interview. This is what I'm saying, because I just said that. A lot of times you have second, third interviews. Take care of your business by doing your proper research. Look the interviewer, whoever interviewing you, was a man or woman, eye to eye. Go dress appropriate. Have something nice on. It wouldn't hurt to be smelling good. You know, this is something serious. This is a job. Always, as they say, let the interviewer ask you questions. Let him finish the total questions that he asking you. Don't cut him or her off. Take a deep breath, pause a little bit before you give a response. That's why I say again, it wouldn't hurt if you rehearse your interview. Take your time. Close the interview on a positive and an enthusiastic note. Smile. Be upbeat. Feel the vibe. Tell the body language. You gotta feel the vibe. If you go to that interview and the interviewer then asks you an assortment of questions, like 2 or 3 questions, and by the time you get to the end of the questions, by then now you should know how you doing. I think you gotta read through everything. You gotta see how the interview is going. Just like the interviewer is seeing how it's going with you, you got to be reading you the interviewee. The interviewer is going to read you as you the interviewee. You got to be reading the interviewer. See, it all has to work like that, because it all boils down to, can you handle this? Are you made for this? Have you did your research? Are you prepared? And it doesn't make a difference what age, how long, a lot of age, race, ethics, your color, your creed. It doesn't make difference as that. If you do your proper homework, your research, if you practice, take it seriously, you can do great in an interview. It can be great. Remain positive. Avoid negative. Be aware of your body language. Be prepared to summarize your experience in about 30 to 60 seconds. Talk, but the interviewer not trying to hear a 20, 30-minute summary. Because remember, they're on a timetable too. You're not the only one that they're interviewing. So when you got your 30 to 60 seconds, you got to have your words in a form of order that you got to make it the best that you can make it. That's why, again, I say you need to practice it. Get your words together. Don't be mumbling. Don't be fuddling. Don't be saying, start your response and then you halfway through it, then, oh, hold on, I forgot, and then start all over. No. The interviewer is reading all of that. I believe an interview sometimes is basic as a teacher is giving you an exam at school. That's why I says, don't talk bad about your teacher. Don't talk bad about your former employee. Don't talk bad about the university or friend. Because see, that's all it is. An interview is your work thesis to see, can you graduate and we bring you along as one of the players of our company. That's what that is. So you have to be prepared. You have to practice. You have to, again, and I'm going to say it much, because see, I noticed myself and it worked. You have to get your research. You have to talk nice and calmly. Let the interviewer totally finish what he's saying before you give a response. Don't go in there jittery. Cut the anxiety. Go in there calm. Look them, he or she, in their eye. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. The truth can set you free. You don't have nothing to lie about. It's your job. It can be your life. It can be your livelihood. This can be the start of a career. This, if you go in there and conduct yourself right, study, and A++ your interview, this job that you going to get can be the beginning of your financial wealth, your family. You get married, you have kids. This is where it all starts. Because you have to have the money. This plays a big part into sending your kids to college. With your grandkids. Generational wealth. That's what I'm saying. It starts with the interview. That's for a good job. And if your kids and you living with your parents, you take it serious too. Even if you don't want to be at that job a long time. That builds character by learning how to go and conduct yourself as a young kid at an interview. It can be just working at a pizza place. We know this young kid is not going to be at this pizza place for the rest of his life because his family is kind of well off or took care of their money and they got bigger plans for them. But you learn things as you grow. So that interview, that when you was a young man, that you went and conduct yourself and you practice with your mom and dad and you got that job and then you finally moved on, that can help you on down in life. Interviewing, acing an interview is a big deal. Don't take it for granted. Don't go in there slouchy. Don't go in there overconfident. You need to be comfortable, but don't go in there just thinking, oh, well, it's this, so I'll be all right. Don't go in there just thinking because if you showed up, you already have a job because you are just one of many. It's many candidates they're considering, not just you. Many candidates they're considering, not just you. That's why you got to be on your A game. You got to be a student. You got to come with it. How to ace a job interview when you're looking for employment. Be serious about that. Because it's a way of life. It's just what you're going to do. It's what you have to do. And it's not going nowhere. Nino. 2 pennies, 2 cents, love.